Hi, in this recording we will learn how to use Microsoft Word to do formatting to documents, formatting and editing documents, using the format painter, working with tabs, adding borders and shading and using tables and things similar to that. So as you can see, we have a document that is about like a page and a half. And so if I want to format this heading, of course you would select that. You can use the mini toolbar or go to the ribbon to make changes. And so let's say I want to make this blue, and I will make it larger by clicking increase font size. I will bold it and italicize it. So you see I made few clicks to get this particular look and feel. And I will apply the same look and feel to these headings as well. So to save myself time, and instead of repeating the same steps over and over again, I can simply click on this and select it. Or to quickly click on it, you can go to the margin area. You see how my pointer changes so that it's facing to the right. Once it does that, you can click and it selects that particular sentence. And so I can click on this format painter, which is under clipboard. It looks like a paintbrush. Click on that, and then I want to change this to look like this. So all I need to do is just select that heading. You see how quickly it is to change the look and feel using the format painter. Now, since I have multiple headings that I want to apply this change to, so what I can do is double click on the format painter, and so now it remains toggled on until I toggle it off. And so I will apply that change here, I will apply it here, and I will apply it here as well. And once you're finished, all you need to do is just deselect this, and now you're back to normal. Other formatting changes we'll be doing here is we will apply tabs to align these lines nicely. So you see we have webinar, we have the date, and we have the cost of the webinar. And so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 webinars in which we will apply tabs to, so that they align nicely in this portion of the document. I'm sure you've seen menus in restaurants. If you go to a restaurant and they give you a menu, they will have like the dish name on one side, and then ... and then the contents of the dish, then ... and then the price of the dish. We will do something similar to that in here. So since I am applying the change to these lines, first you will need to select them, and because the changes are going to be applied to these cells. And then we will apply a tab stop at the 1-inch mark. And you see we have different tab stops to apply. This one is left tab, we have center tab, right tab, and other tabs. And for our purposes here, we will apply a left tab at the 1-inch mark, so that when I hit the tab key, this text will be pushed to that 1-inch mark. And so I'm going to apply that here. And so that's where webinar is going to be. And then I will apply another left tab stop so that the date will be starting at that point. And then we will apply a right tab stop. So I need to change this to be right tab stop. And then I will apply that to this 5-inch mark. So you see how it's going to be. This will be webinar aligning here basically, and then we will have the date aligning nicely here, so it starts at that point, and then the cost will be aligned so that it ends at that point. That's why we apply the right tab stop. Okay, and so now look, if I click here, if I put the cursor there and I click and then I hit the tab key, it goes and pushes the text to that mark. And if I go right before date and I push tab, you see how it starts at that tab stop. And then if I go right before cost, hit tab, it ends at that tab stop. So we will do the same thing here. And you see how things are nicely aligned as you do that. Okay, so now other things I will do is I will add dots here between the webinar and the date, and also dots between the date and the cost to make it look nicer. And of course, I'm not going to apply that to the headings here, so I will only apply it to the content. So I will select these lines, and then we can go to Paragraph Launcher, click on that, and then we have Tabs button here, so we click on it, and then we will apply the tabs here. So at the tab stop position 3.5, we will apply the leader lines, which are the dots. And so at the tab stop position 3.5, we will apply leader line, and you have different styles to choose from. We'll go with style number 2, leader line number 2, and then we click on set. And so that will apply the leader lines to this part of my selection. And then we'll click on the 5-inch tab stop position. To be consistent, we'll also do the leader line number 2, click set, and then we click OK. And here we go. You see how we added these leader lines. And again, this makes things look more professional. So other things we can do, we can make this bold. Control B is the shortcut to bold the text. I can also select these lines here, and I can add an outside border to that range. And if you feel this is too much space on the right and left, we can go to layout, and we can increase the indentation from the left and from the right. Okay, you can make them align even better by maybe increasing that a couple times here. Okay, and then we can add, for example, colors. So I can add fill color to that range. I can change things. So this is the highlighter. We can add like font color as well. This is the fill color. And so let's say I want to add this particular fill color, and you see how it's looking more professional. And so that's how you can add tab stops to your document. Other things we can do is, you see back in the ruler, we have these options here. So if I push this, that will impact the first line indentation. So if I push it this way, you see how it pushes the first line, right? And if I select this and I want to push the whole thing to the right, then we can push this like that. Of course, it's not going to look good here, but you get the idea that you can also increase the indentation from here. You can also go to Paragraph Launcher, and you see how you can increase indentation. You can change it to the first line or the hanging lines, and so on and so forth. If I want to add spacing to my document, I can do Ctrl A to select all and go to line and paragraph spacing. And let's say I want to do, for example, just add a little bit of space, so we can click on that. And you can also, if you click right after this heading, if you go to layout, it shows you that there is a spacing of 8 points after that. So basically, between the heading and the paragraph, there is an 8 point. And so if you want to shrink that, you can click to shrink it, or you can click to add it. And you can do the same thing for the other ones. Other formatting changes you can do to make your document look good is you can use SmartArt graphics to add visualization to communicate certain information. And so if I go to Insert, you see we can add like an organizational chart there. And so if you go to Insert and then you click on SmartArt, you see we have different options to choose from. So let's say I want to go with hierarchy. And let's say I want to go with the first one. So an organizational chart, right? So I click OK. And in here we can customize it. So let's say this top one, we're going to have John Smith. And John Smith is basically the CEO. So we can add CEO. And let's say we have, for example, Amanda Lee, and that's the admin assistant. And you can add like more names and their titles. And so that's how you can add the an organizational chart. And once you add it, you can see how we can change things from this box or directly within the chart. And once you add the chart, you can change the look and feel of that. So if you want to change the colors, you can change colors. You can change the style of the chart. So different styles to choose from. And so you can quickly and easily change the look and feel of your chart. And of course, you can look into more options here where you can add or remove features from your chart. Now, other things we can do is we can add section breaks and page breaks to your document. So let's say, for example, upcoming conferences onward, I want to move that to the next page. So instead of just keep hitting enter all until I push all this text down, I can go to layout, and then we have breaks. And so I want to insert a page break. And so as it says here, it marks the point at which one page ends and the next page begins. So if I click on that, you see how it pushes the text down, right? A shortcut to do that is Control Enter. So if you click right before the heading, if you do Control Enter, see it pushes the text down to the next page. And right now you don't see that there is a page break here, but if you go to the Home tab and you click on this where it says like Show Paragraph Marks and other hidden formatting symbols, if you click on that, you see how there is a page break in there. So if I want to remove this page break, again, you can go to the margin side on the left, click, and simply delete, and that removes that page break. Now sometimes you may also want to add like a section break, where like imagine you have a document, like 10-page document, and you want to add like page number 8 to have it like a table, and so you want to change the orientation just for page number 8 to be landscape instead of portrait. Then you can use continuous page break and just make that one page to be landscape instead of portrait. And so again, you can accomplish that using section breaks. Okay, so let's disable the marks here, and so go back to the Home tab and simply click this, and that will remove these formatting marks. Now things that we can also do is I can add a table, right? So if I want to add the table here, we can go to Insert and then Table, and then as I insert my table, I specify how many columns, how many rows do I want. And so let's say, just for simplicity's sake, we'll go with this. So 3 by 4, 3 columns, 4 rows. When you add your table, if you want to make changes to that, you can click on this option here, and then we can add, for example, a style to my table. So if I click on the more options under styles, you see how we have different styles to choose from to be consistent with the theme. So let's say, for example, I want to use this style. Click on it, and add that style. And so if I want to add things, I can simply type it here. So we can say like careers, maybe location, and cost. So let's say we have engineering, location Atlanta, cost 1,000. IT, Richmond, 800. And you get the idea how we can add things to the table. If I want to add an additional row, you can simply go to the side like this, click to add an additional row. Okay, and so you see how we added basically these costs and location and careers. And so that's how you can add your table. If you want to align things, so let's say I want the location and cost to be aligned in the middle, right? So if you select these, you can go to layout and change the alignment, for example, to be aligned in the center of the cells. Okay. Other things we can do, we can also go right, like in the last line here, we can add a formula where we want to, for example, add up all the costs and put the value here. So this is the formula to do that. We can do like sum function, which in Microsoft Excel, it adds up values, and we want to add up the values above. And so if I click OK, you see how it added the total for these. And so I can add, for example, here, like total record, right? Can make it bold, for example, or remove the bolding. Can change the color just so that it stands out. Okay. Okay, and so that's how you can add tables to your document, and that's how you can change the styles of these tables. I hope this recording helped. Have a wonderful day.